Welcome to The Real Thing. Serena Scott Thomas, how are you going?
I'm great, Paul. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for talking to us. We're going to talk a bit about Bond 50, the Blu-ray box set. You, of course, Dr. Molly Warmflash from The World Is Not Enough. Can you tell us a bit about how you came to be in a 007 film?
Yes, well, I actually was living in Los Angeles, and they were casting for actually the lead role. And I went up for that and didn't get it, obviously. But the director, Michael Apted, called me and he said, Serena, what do you think about playing this doctor? And I said, hell yeah. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. And who could resist the name Dr. Molly Warmflash? I mean, come on. I like that on my resume, you know?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. I was actually thinking about this last night. I love this movie, but I was thinking this would almost be a better film if you were the lead.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, it certainly was a shame that they didn't make more of that character or bring her back. You know, it would have been fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, one lives in hope. But that's the way it goes.
You played a rare Bond girl, smart and kind of in control of the situation. Was that appealing for you for the role?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, who wouldn't want to throw James Bond on the bed? Make him just a toy.
Can you tell us a bit about some of your favourite memories from the set of The World Is Not Enough?
God, that whole production is it's such a privilege to be part of that James Bond family. From the sort of wardrobe fittings with Barbara Broccoli, who is just one of the most fun and fabulous people you'll ever meet, to being on the set with, all these fabulous actors like Judi Dench, and it was just Michael Kitchen, and it was just fantastic. The whole thing is exactly how you would imagine it to be. And the sets are incredible, of course. The Scottish Castle, is actually in Pinewood Studios. And there's such a magic about the whole thing. It does not disappoint in any way. When you're actually working on the films, I think is as fun and magical as watching them.
That follows on to my next question a bit. With the longevity of the series, was part of the appeal for you to be in such an iconic role in an iconic series? Was that part of taking the role?
When I first said I would do it, I had no idea that it would become what it became. I did it because I thought it was fun, and I love the name Dr. Molly Warmflash, and I grew up with James Bond films, and I think that I had no idea that it would become such sort of a thing and something that stays with you really for the rest of your life. And every now and again, the Bond girls get together and we do various things together. And it really is quite remarkable how you become part of this sort of club that is forever. It's a great honor, I think, actually.
Besides Bond, of course, you've done... I'm a fan, first of all. You've done a lot of other cool roles. Nip Tuck. You've been on Buffy, which is cool. Films like
I loved doing Buffy. Buffy was great.
Films like The Thirst and Hostage with Bruce Willis, which I love as well. What have been some of your other favourite roles to do?
I did a piece for the BBC and Italian television called Nostromo, which was an adaptation of a Joseph Conrad novel. When I first moved to Los Angeles in 1994, and we went to Cartagena, Colombia for 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And we lived in this extraordinary town, in this amazing place, and filmed in a shanty town, on an island that was a shanty town, and in all these different places. And that was an incredible experience, I have to say, that living there for 5 months in this culture that was just so completely different from anything that I had previously experienced, and working in these conditions that were really quite sort of hair-raising. but filming something that was sort of Victorian period was really quite an extraordinary experience, and I'll never forget it. And I would say that was really a life-changing experience. As are many things, us actors are very privileged in that we get to travel the world and work in these wonderful places, and we get paid for it, which is a beautiful thing.
Nice. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, right?
I think I need to become an actor. I think I need to do that.
Yeah, right? I know it. I swear to God. And at the time, the business has changed a lot now, but at the time, of course, when you're younger, you don't realize how lucky you are either, sadly. But in retrospect, I look back on all those incredible places I went to. And, before I was acting, I was a model, and modeling too. I've traveled all over the world, went to extraordinary places. And, I just feel very, very lucky.
Absolutely. Let's talk about one of your more recent roles. You played Carol Middleton in the William and Kate movie. What are you laughing for?
Yes, I'm laughing because it's like everybody loves anything to do with the royals. And, because I played Princess Diana way back in 1993 or something. And, and then came this role where I got to play Kate Middleton's mom, and it just seemed so funny that I was again doing another little sort of royal movie. But yes, I did, and I have to say that was a great pleasure too. Lovely, lovely people, sweet little movie, and a very different experience from when I played Princess Diana. When I played Princess Diana, I was really persona non grata. It was considered very kind of poor form in England to sort of air any of the royal family's laundry, clean or otherwise, in public. And so, I got quite a lot of flack for actually doing that film. Nobody wanted to believe that there was trouble, back at the royal palace. So it was an entirely different experience. Doing Will and Kate was just such a pleasure, and it was a sweet little film. It was very nice.
What was it like to play a character who's a real person and still very much in the public eye now? Is that daunting?
Well, that's a good question. It's a very tricky thing because, unless you're really, really good at impersonations and you have a lot of time to study the person and there's a lot of footage or you get to actually spend time with the person, it's a really, really tricky thing. So with the Diana thing and with the Carol Middleton role also, because that was not the case, I didn't, go and hold up with Princess Diana or Carol Middleton, and not much is, there's not much footage of Carol Middleton, or, when the public really don't know that much about her, except that, she was unfortunate enough to be chewing gum at the wrong moment, but, so one has to kind of really go for the essence of the person, and really try and get to the core of the motivation of that character and put yourself in their shoes and really sort of, quote unquote, go there, which is the same for any acting role, of course. But you're always, a bit of a, target when you play somebody that is a real person. So, it can be quite a risky career move. You're playing with fire a little bit.
So what are you working on next? What do you got your eye on project-wise? Anything at the moment?
Well, there have been a lot of things. There have been a lot of things. There's nothing confirmed right now, of course, but there's and I don't like to talk about it anyway. But there've been a lot of things, interesting things coming up. It's funny because the business is changing with the advent of reality TV and all of these sort of celebrities dancing and celebrities going, into the Navy SEALs and building businesses. And, there's a sort of crossover between reality and fantasy now, which I think, is very interesting, if not a little scary at times. But, the upshot of a lot of it is that now they're doing a lot of very, very cool things that are airing on the web. And one of the things that I did recently, which I'm very excited to see, is this little horror film, and it's an interactive horror film.
Oh, wow.
That basically, I can't say too much, but basically things like, when you set it up to watch it, you give them your details, and then, at a particular scary moment, your phone will ring, and it will be one of the characters from the film calling you and asking questions. And it's an extraordinary concept and very exciting and fun, I think. So there's a lot of that kind of thing going on right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Nice. That sounds really cool, actually. I'm excited to see that one. So.
And I think it's a great concept, right? I like it a lot.
Yeah. I think we need to put out in the universe as well between your James Bond work and other stuff you've done, Buffy. I think we need to put it out there that we should get you down to Australia for some sort of fan convention as well. Would you be up for something like that?
Oh, of course. No, I love meeting the fans. It's so fun and talking to them and hearing what they have to say and their own experiences and their memories of which films they like and which characters they like. It's a nice feeling to be part of a club like that,
Awesome. We've got like 3 different conventions, so we'll put that out there. We'll let them know, and hopefully they'll get in touch with you.
That would be awesome. That would be fun. I haven't been to Australia since I went to promote the Princess Diana movie all those years ago, and that was a trip of a lifetime. My goodness, I love that place.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show. It was awesome, and yeah, we love you. We love your work, and we'll continue to love your work. And thanks for joining us on The Real Thing, Serena Scott Thomas. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Paul. Lovely to chat with you.